Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Rewind That. It's your girl Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. So guys, we are talking about The Chi. It's finally here. The premiere is upon us, all right? So it's The Chi season 6, episode number 1. And man, they already starting, guys. What's up, DeMarcus and LSW? And what's up, Monica M? Thank you for becoming a member. All right. So, guys, I know you guys saw me, DeMarcus and LSW. You saw me on Moochie's channel last night. Shout out to my girl. I love you. All right. And, I have always said since last year, I believe, that I'm ready for The Chi to end. And let me just clarify and let you guys know why. It's not because it's a bad show. If it was a bad show, I would not freaking watch it, okay? Here's the reason. I feel like with The Chi, they've done a lot of things that were series finale-ish. You know what I'm saying? I.e., uh Jada and Jada and Darnell getting married. I feel like that should have happened in a series finale, right? And the reason why I feel this way, guys, is because I'm afraid that because these things that should have happened in the series finale happen so soon, I feel like it's not going to end good. I feel like something's going to go wrong, right? Like I know DeMarcus was saying he thinks that Jada's the one in the casket, she's probably going to die. This is what happens. This is the kind of door that they're leaving open for us. So this is the reason why I want the show to end, because I feel like they've done so many things that was like, man, y'all could have did that in the season finale. I mean, a series finale. Like y'all are just going to screw this show up. That's how I feel, guys. So without further ado, let's get into this freaking episode, guys. Thank you so much for being here with me. What's up, Big KJTV and Renee Hicks? All right, y'all. So the episode starts off. Listen, last year the episode started off with them getting it in, these two right here. But it was a dream that Emmett was having. One for the money, bum, bum, two for the, right? Getting it into that song. And now, and it was enjoyable looking, right? They both look like they had a good time. But remember, this is Emmett's dream, and he felt like he manifested it and all that crap, right? So now this is another opening. They're having sex, but Kiesha is not enjoying it. She wants him to hurry the heck up, and he said, well, I would have been done if you just called me Big Daddy like I told you to and all of that. And she was like, I'm not calling you that, It was just like, yeah, I don't really know what's up with some guys who want to be called daddy, but I think the whole daddy thing, no judgment to the ladies that call their husbands daddy. I actually don't have a problem with that, but I feel like a lot of women that do that, they might have daddy issues. That might be too deep, but anyway, I'm just like, listen, I remember one time my husband said that to, I said, I'm not calling you daddy. I have a father. Like, what is up with you? Like, that is so disgusting. So anyway, guys, so she wants to get it over with. And this is what happens, guys, when you have children. So we definitely see that the honeymoon phase is over, guys. Okay. Like she's like, I need to get in the shower. First of all, the kids, Ronnie's crying. The kids are knocking on the door and stuff. He wants to finish, which, okay, I'm not mad at that, guys. He wants to finish. I'm not a guy, but you can't be starting not finishing. But anyway, but I get what she's talking about. Like, ain't nobody trying to finish having sex or can still be in the mood after the kids are crying. Like, I know back in the day when once I heard the kids, I was like, I'm not in the mood no more. Like, we can't, no, thank you. So I totally understand. So like I said, guys, the honeymoon phase is over with them, right? And the sad thing about this is this happens way too often with a lot of relationships. That's why they call it the honeymoon phase, because it doesn't last, right? And there's a lot of reasons why it doesn't last, because we stopped doing what we were doing during the honeymoon phase, the stuff that made us so in love and just want to be around the person and this, that, and the third. And so it sounds like Emmett is not really pulling his weight around the house. She was complaining, saying it's like I can't be the only parent in the house, this and that and the third. He wanted to make them cereal. while she was saying you can't make them some eggs, I get what she's saying and I totally feel her. But when he said I'll give them some cereal and fruit snacks, I would have just been like whatever, but she had to be like, you can't make them eggs. It's just like, girl, it can't always be like, if you want him to do that, then let him make the cereal and stuff, so you could get in the shower, because he's got to get ready for his little the grand opening, and she has like a job interview or an observation that's going to happen. Okay, so like I said, we see what it is, right? And so now we're going to move on. Let me hear what some of you guys are saying. LSW says, I don't do the daddy thing either. What's up, Jeremiah? Big Wolf status, hi. DeMarcus says, I agree with you, Miss K. This should be the last season. Yes. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to check in with you guys here and there, see what you guys are talking about, but we're going to move on, okay? All right. So in the next scene, listen, one thing about the Shy, when they be getting it in, they show one character. When they show one couple getting it in, it's going to just be like that for the, for the first few minutes of an episode. You're going to see folks getting it in. That's what the heck you're going to see. So we see Trig and Fatima getting it in, and after they're done, first of all, during sex, Trig is like, so you think I'm going to win? And Fatima's like, listen, we're not talking about that during personal time now. Come on. So, he's telling Fatima that he's scared that if he loses, he won't know what to do with his life, right? And Fatima tells him that his life will go on, whether you win or you lose. And I'm like, duh, but that's not very encouraging news, because life goes on, period, right? Like, we all know that life continues to go on. So I just didn't really I wasn't really feeling that advice. It wasn't very encouraging, like I said. So she could have came a little stronger. And I'm gonna talk a little more about Trig later on, guys, but that's that. All right. So next we have Jada, the newlyweds, Jada and Darnell. And it's looking like Darnell was downtown being a cookie monster, but it wasn't. He was massaging her foot. So I definitely was loving this. I also love how Jada's hair has grown back and stuff like that. And in this scene, guys, we have Darnell. He's telling Jada that they can't get too comfortable, right? They need to keep things exciting or else he's gonna get bored. And if he gets bored, they ain't gonna stay married. And Jada's like, man, we only been married for a few months and you already got us in divorce court. Like, what is wrong with you? Okay, so I agree with him, guys, because it's kind of like what I just said. Hey, Eric S. Yes, Cookie Monster, aka Munch. So it's kind of like what I was just saying about the whole honeymoon phase. You got to keep doing the things that you were doing. Right. However, and this is kind of like a Emmett and Kiesha, they need to take a page out of their book. Like, what Darnell is saying is not wrong. However, guys, I feel some type of way that is coming from Darnell. Like, I would feel more comfortable if this suggestion came from Jada, because Jada's not the one that had issues in the past trying to keep it together and not being a woman. She wasn't out there playing the field like that. He's the one that was a womanizer. So when he's saying these things, it's like, bro, you kind of making me nervous now. Don't be talking like that. So, but she knows at this point how to handle the stuff that Darnell says, and I guess she can kind of see that maybe it's a joke. You know what I mean? He's joking, but he's not really joking. But anyway, guys, so it's good to see them together. Okay, so let's move on. So now we see that another couple was getting it in, somebody that we didn't freaking know that was a couple, guys. It was Tiara and Marcus. Okay, so Gemma hears her dad getting it in with Tiara, and she tells him that she should be the only woman in their house calling him daddy. And I'm thinking facts. All right. Now, this definitely bursts Marcus's bubble, because he was feeling good. Like when he walked Tiara to the door, and y'all saw that little pep in his step and everything, child. But when he came in and saw his daughter, she said what she said. His mouth was all open and everything. So it definitely made him feel very uncomfortable. Now, I'm going to say what I have to say. I was going to say it prematurely, but I'm going to leave this alone. Marcus was getting what Emmett wanted, right? The woman to call him daddy. And that's what Tiara was doing. All right. Thank you so much, DeMarcus, for the super chat. So DeMarcus says, if Douda survives season 6 of The Shy, Douda will surpass James Ghost St. Patrick and Franklin Saint as most gangsters. All right. Tracy's death would hurt Douda. Yeah, well, maybe so, Thank you for the super chat. Hey, Tamika. Okay, so yes, Tamika, he had his George Jefferson walk on, okay, pep in his step. And in a later scene, which we will talk about, um when he confronted Tiara about it, she was like, you want me to like be more quiet? And then she was like, well, when was the last time you felt the way you felt today? You know what I'm saying? And he didn't have anything to say about it. And she was like, exactly. So she knows she done had that man feeling very, very good, guys. All right. So we are just going to move right on along. LSW said Gemma is the diva of the house. She sure is. Look how she got the coffee in her hand, coffee mug in her hand. Maybe it's tea, but she is just like, you not gonna be having a woman up in here, doing all that, calling you daddy, blah blah blah. So yeah, it's gonna be some friction, guys, as we saw earlier. All right. I'm sorry, as we saw later on. Okay, so in the next scene, guys, we have Douda rolling up on Emmett as he's on his way to, one of his grand openings, and Douda takes Emmett to get fitted for a new suit. And so, Emmett is loving his new look, but he tells Douda that he can't afford it. But Douda tells him that it's on him, right? Like, you're an investment. Like, I can't just invest in your business. I have to invest in you, the man, right? And of course, this is something that makes Emmett very happy, guys, but he's got to be very careful because folks like Douda, they ain't trying to do nothing for free, right? Also, things turn real eerie when Nuck tells Emmett to hold his gun. And that's when Emmett is reminded that he's dealing with a street dude like Douda, right? This man, it's about gunplay at the end of the day. So a happy moment like this can go left at any freaking time. And so it was very eerie, guys, very scary. He had a smile on his face, and then all of a sudden, boom, like he was holding a gun. And listen, guys, look at these mini Doudas, right? We've got this look that Douda goes for with his guys. They've got turtlenecks and these nice blazers on and everything. I mean, he got them looking clean, all right? Cleaning up very, very nicely. There's nothing wrong with dressing like Douda, but we definitely don't want to be like this guy, right? I mean, even young buck over here, Bakari, who is very silent. He just seems like he does what he's supposed to do. We don't hear a peep while he's with Douda, and hardly hear anything from Nuck either. But guys, I just have to say, like, Nuck is probably a young whippersnapper, but he is fine. I've realized it, but sometimes when dudes start putting on certain type of attire, they be looking way better. Okay, one thing that I do like about this episode, there is a quote, and I do love me some quotes, guys. It's something that Emmett tells Kiesha when she sees his new getup, and she's like, "Oh, you look nice and everything. You clean up nice and stuff." And then he's like, "Dude, I got it from you." So she wasn't happy about that, but he said, Douda says that I have to dress how I want to be addressed, and I was like, that's dope right there, because that's a fact, right? Whether you're a man or a woman, if you want to be addressed a certain type of way, you got to dress a certain type of way. That's just the facts of life, guys. So LSW says Douda has a dark side with no remorse. Girl, I know. Monica says, I'm sorry. Emmett is from that neighborhood. How everyone knows don't mess with Douda but him. He was acting all naive when he was talking to Kiesha, acting like Douda isn't that bad, right? And we're gonna talk about that a little more too, toward the end of this live, because that situation that happened at the end was kind of like, bro, you didn't know who you were talking to. I don't want to jump ahead, but it is like that. Douda was known from season 2 when we were introduced to Douda. We had I forgot, Brandon's mom's name, but I think it was Miss Johnson, but I don't remember the first name. But anyway, her boyfriend was even saying, talking about the reputation that Douda had. So this dude is known in the hood. So for like you said, Monica, for Emmett to be all naive, it's just stupid. But sometimes, you know what? When the money comes, it really makes people forget, and they're actually willing. Now, even if they don't forget, they're actually willing to take a chance. So that could be another way to interpret his smile, like his nervous smile that we saw while he was holding the gun. It was like a reminder, plus more like, I'm nervous, but I do see that I'm taking a chance here. So who knows, right? All right, guys. Yeah, Brandon's mother name was Laverne. Okay, thank you so much. All right. So next, guys, we have Kiesha. She shows up late, unfortunately, for work, right? Well, it's not her job yet. She has to go through observation, right? And the teacher tells her, I think that her name is Mrs. Berry. So she tells her not to let it happen again. She was like, I'm used to getting on the parents about being on time, or about being late. And for me, guys, automatically, I was like, girl, please, like, I do not want a teacher telling me nothing as if you my boss. You better police your employees, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I can't stand teachers like that or anyone like that. Okay, so later on, though, guys, Kiesha observes the teacher, Miss Berry, her interaction between this little kid named Messiah. And Kiesha decides that it's a good idea to give the teacher some unsolicited advice about the child who refused to want to read in front of the class, right? So she had the kid kind of go to like his little table for a little timeout type of situation. And Kiesha was saying that this is not a good approach because she feels like, when you try to force a kid to do certain things that they're not comfortable with doing, it can cause some issues for them, right? It could be traumatizing. And while she's making great points, she eventually was wrong about it. She sat with the child and she found out that he could read so great, guys, and he's very articulate. I mean, you can hear the way he was talking that he was articulate already, right? But he also could read very well. He has good comprehension and all of this stuff. So she asked him, so why didn't you want to read? He said, I just don't like reading in front of people. And she said, well, why didn't you say that? He said, I didn't think that I could. So she was encouraging him that, you can tell me anything when you're uncomfortable or whatever. And so, Mrs. Berry, she's there, she's observing this, and eventually she gets the job. So that's good, guys. But like I said, Kiesha was making some very good points. But as Miss Berry said, I don't think it's a good idea for you to be trying to, critique me and stuff when you over here trying to get a job. Like, that's just like, what? It's this generation, guys. Let's chalk it up to that because that's a fact, right? Okay, guys. So now we have Trig's campaign manager. I think his name was Quincy, or Quentin. I forgot. All right. But he tells him that he needs a viral moment that shows him doing something nice, and this will help his numbers because right now his numbers aren't doing so great, right? And so his viral moment comes later at Smokey's when Papa spills a drink on him. Good thing that he handled this moment with grace. It didn't show him flipping out and yelling at Papa or anything like that. I mean, the moment really was to kind of show sex appeal, unfortunately, but that actually did well for his numbers, guys. And I will leave it at that. All right. Next, guys, Kevin has his own place. All right. And listen, guys, that new apartment was very, very nice. And I'm like, bro, where are you getting this money to have such a nice apartment? Of course, he has to get furniture. And I know that he's gaming, guys. I do know that. But I'm still looking at his age. And, I guess the gaming stuff is really, really booming. All right. Because his apartment is no raggedy little thing, okay? Like, it's really nice. All right. But guys, he's happy, right? He's happy to be on his own. You saw him with his hands out like, yeah. But this little boy gonna go home and try to go food shopping. And I was so happy when his mother's caught him. All right. Like, yes, Good for your behind. Like, what the heck you think this is? And it was like, listen, that's a part of adulting. Okay. You have to furnish your own place, pay your bills, buy your own food. Like, you can't be coming over here. Like, I'm not about to uh keep acting like I have an extra mouth to feed when that mouth done moved out, but now he's still coming around collecting stuff from my cabinets. Like, we're not doing that. He don't put, listen, he got his bag, taking stuff out of the cabinets, paper towels, all of this. Okay. So the mothers let him know this is not going to happen. And his mom said, Nina said, listen, if everything is not going so well, you can always come back home. And he was like, no, I'll stick it out. I'm going to work it out. Right. And so Dre leaves. And what does Nina do? What a mother normally does. She gives him the bag minus the paper towels, right? She gives him the bag. And I was like, oh, listen, I felt the mama bear situation. So I wasn't mad at it because I definitely felt that mama bear love. All right. So I would have probably got on my son too, but have been like, just go on now. Get out of here. So just like how she said. All right. What's up, Tamika? Okay, so prediction that the chief of staff, I'm sorry, dude, is secretly in love with Victor. Mark my words. I was actually going to say something about that toward the end of the episode, though. We'll talk about it. All right. So guys, we also have Jake, who is finally doing his thing with his clothing line, and we got Gemma. She's there to help. And guys, Gemma is just so great when it comes to being a manager. We saw how good she was with Maisha, and now she's even doing such a great job with Jake. And like when Jake didn't know that he had like an extra shirt, right? She was like, no, there's another one under there. Like she got his inventory down and everything. Oh, there's another one in there, but it's in a different color. I'm like, this is the girl to have on your side. Now, yes, I used to make fun of her. Like, I am a revolutionary. She was very, very annoying. She might still have a little bit of annoying ways about her, but I'm starting to see more and more that this little girl is very, very smart and useful, right? So they did make some jokes about, she was like, you need to get a new system. And he was like, nah, you my system and everything's fine. She's like, you ain't paying me, and he was like, I'm paying you in love. And the first thing I'm thinking about, child, no, you can't pay nobody in deed. That's not working. And like she said, that ain't paying no daggone bills. Okay. They were joking around about it, but at the same time, she's still a young girl. She over here counting all this money for him while he making it, and she's helping him. He needs to piece her off. And that's just the bottom line. No, don't buy me anything. Give me money. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, let's move on, guys. So Tiara tells Marcus that she wants him to introduce her to his daughter, Gemma. And all I have to say about this pairing, guys, is that it's disgusting to me. All right. Tiara, in my opinion, looks too much like Gemma. And to have someone who looks like your daughter calling you daddy during sex is just freaking sickening. All right. Now, my thing here, guys, is what are we doing? Where did this relationship come from? Yes, we hear later on that they've been together for 2 months and all of that, but what are we doing? I don't understand why they're together. But I will say that she ain't to be trusted. Even in her tone, the way she says things, the way she speaks, guys, you can tell that she's up to something. She don't love Marcus. This girl is looking for a come up, and that's just how I feel. Yes, LSW, she jumps from one man to another like so fast, right? And I was saying for my members, if you guys were able to hear the first reaction recap, I was saying that it's a shame that she doesn't believe in herself enough that she can become a rising star on her own. She feels like she has to be booed up with a man of influence in order to get ahead in life, which is why we keep seeing her with different guys. Now, I guess, look, if she's been with Marcus for 2 months, maybe my theory about her getting pregnant from Shad may not happen, or maybe she's already pregnant, and maybe she could try to pass it off as Marcus's baby instead of trying to say that it's what's his name, Trig's baby, right? Because this could be a part of her plan too, guys. So we really got to watch this freaking conniving little wench. All right, definitely an opportunist, Tamika, definitely. All right, so let's move on, guys. So Rob, he comes to see Douda, and he's coming to pick up a package from Douda, right? Coming to pick up some product, right? But Douda wants to make Rob an offer to make more money. But Rob says, listen, when you come for money, you don't feel the need to want more. You know, just honestly, Rob in this scene, I don't really like Rob, guys. I think we have that established from last year. I don't really like him. You know, he's got a lot of cocky ways and things like that. And I just feel like there's something about him. So in this whole meeting with Douda, he did kind of get on my nerves. I know Douda is a monster, but Rob irked me. He was very arrogant and stuff, like especially when Douda was telling him that blood is not always thicker than water. And Rob was like, I already knew that, you know. So he's like, I didn't, come here to talk about all of this stuff. I just came here for the product, you know. So anyway, like I said, Douda wants to make Rob an offer to make more money, but Rob isn't interested until Douda tells him that he wants to pay Rob 15% of whatever he makes. Okay. And so, now he's interested. And Rob is telling Douda that it's a better deal than his uncle gave him. And Douda tells Rob that, I want you to be around for the long haul, and Rob says, well, as long as you pay me, you know what I'm saying? Pay me right and we're good. And there goes, listen, in this episode, guys, we see Douda laughing a lot. Like I feel like whenever Douda is a little bit insulted, he laughs as a way to suppress the psycho that he know can just come out and just, right? So he just kind of laughs like, right? Because I know that he doesn't like the way Rob is like interacting with him or responding to him. I know he doesn't like it, So I really do feel like that laugh is just to suppress his anger and to suppress him from acting a certain kind of way. Because we have moments where let me tell you something. Douda may be crazy, guys, but this man has self-control. All right. Like, I know that might seem weird, but he actually does have self-control. I mean, when he reacts, he doesn't react right away, which makes him way more crazier because he's calculated, right? If he knows I'm gonna bash this dude's head open, I don't have to do it right this second. I'm gonna continue to feel the way I feel, go on about my day, do what I do, and I'm gonna come back and do it. Like that's how much self-control he has. And people without self-control are very dangerous as well, but people with self-control could be even more dangerous, you know what I'm saying? Because like they don't really let things go, So anyway, so Tamika says that she likes Rob. His attitude makes sense. He totally suspects Douda. I'm not sure if he suspects Douda yet. He probably does though. But that's when I think we need more to know that he suspects him. But I feel, here's my thing, Tamika. I don't like Rob just from the strength of how he was dealing with what's his name? What's her name? Tiffany. It's just something about him I don't like. I know LSW, you were there last night when I was talking about it. Y'all see what I was talking about. I just don't like him. Like there's just something about him. I'm waiting for us to get the reveal about him. Like there's certain things that he said about his past and all that. And I'm just really waiting for stuff to happen with this guy because I'm not really feeling it. Monica says, I don't like Rob either since day one. Yup, from the day he went after another man's wife. Okay, right. That's true. There you go. There you go with that. All right, guys. So now we have Emmett. He gets a Benz. All right, because Douda is hooking him up with brokers and all of that stuff. So he has a Benz, and now Tiff wants a Benz as well. I mean, she don't want a Benz. She just wants a car. She's like, oh my gosh, I want a car, this and that. And he's like, what about Rob? Why what about your man? She's like, I don't have a child with him. So anyway, guys, also in that scene, we do see that Emmett and Tiffany, they're doing pretty well with their relationship. They're not beefing, they're not on that type of stuff. They're very cordial. They play around, this and that. And so, even though she said what she said, he was listen, she wasn't joking about it. So he took it very seriously. And he took this information to Douda as well. Like, my ex-wife, she wants a car, And so Douda was like, well, get her one, But before I get into that, I also want to mention that things seem like they're also still good between Tiffany and Kiesha, because when Tiffany was getting out the car, she was like, all right, Emmett, whatever, boy, tell Kiesha I'm going to call her later, So they still seem like they have that relationship, guys. I mean, listen, they better, right? We got a little EJ over there always coming, and Kiesha helps take care of little EJ. Okay. And so there goes Rob, guys, just looking just angry. All right. So guys, in this scene right here, this is where I was saying that Douda is telling him, well, listen, if you're the mother of your child wants something, give her whatever she wants. You know what I'm saying? And, I feel a way about this. I feel like he's being a master manipulator against Rob, guys. I feel like if Douda has or encourages Emmett to get more things for Tiffany, then it's going to make Rob upset or jealous or something like that, and possibly want to do more business with Douda, right? Something like I'm sensing that Douda is trying to take over the streets. And so he has to get Rob to work with him or work for him, stuff like that, right? But anyway, guys, like I said, master freaking devil manipulator. Okay. So anyway, guys, we also see in this scene that Kiesha hates the fact that Emmett is working with Douda. I already kind of talked about it before, but she hates it, right? And she says, I don't like him, but I'm gonna give it a chance. And when she walks up to Emmett, Douda says, you guys make a nice couple. And she was like, I know. And I'm just like, girl, what is going on here? You know this man is dangerous. I understand you may not like him, but girl, pump your brakes and say thank you. And what does Douda do, guys? That laugh. That laugh, that shows he's insulted. That's my opinion. That's what I think. I think that's the laugh that suppresses the psycho. Okay. Somewhere along the line, guys, Douda learns self-control. Anyway, so that's that, guys. So also in this scene, that's when we find out that after all the beefing that Kiesha was doing, she tells Emmett that she got the job. Okay. So that's good. And she said, oh, he's like, oh, that's good. You a teacher out here now. Another thing about this whole situation, guys, is, is she finished with school? Like, how did she become a teacher so quick? I mean, I don't know. I don't like to read into things too much, it's TV, but yeah. And clearly she did not graduate from school that daggone quick. What's up, your queen? Okay, so Monica says, Douda had him do it to piss off Rob. Sorry, he shouldn't have bought her a car. She got a whole man. Oh, yeah. Yep. And I definitely believe that's what it is. It's definitely, he's just playing puppet master at this point, So guys, now we have Papa, and he has his eyes on an older co-worker named Kenya. All right. And she's only 19 though. It ain't that serious. He said he about to be 18 this summer and all of that, right? But Bakari doesn't think that Papa can pull it off, but Kenya seems to be interested. Okay. Like she liked the whole Papa. I'll be watching Papa's pulpit. Mm-hmm. So go ahead, Papa. He got a little shorty ready now. Okay. All right, guys. So now we're still at the opening. I think this is still a grand opening at Smokies, right? And so Shad is asking uh Darnell if he knows of any job openings, and Darnell tells him that it's pretty dry out here, but he'll keep his ear to the streets for him, right? And so after Shad tells him that he really needs a job because his lady is paying for everything, and obviously that doesn't make him feel good, right? His lady is paying for everything. Darnell says, well, just keep laying that pipe, right? You know what I'm saying? So that give her a reason to keep you around in the meantime, okay? Because lately, folks is being replaced by some vibrators. But anyway, guys, like I really feel bad for Shad because the fact that he hasn't gotten a job after all this time, it makes me worried for him. Okay. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that later on. But I will say that with his friend being city council, you would think that that means he's going to have, some connections to get his man's a job. Okay. Let's do that now. Let's play the game of knowing somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. Now, come on now. This man should not be out here without a job. Okay. Yes, Purity. Hi. How are you? All right. So now, let's see. Oh, okay. Thank you, Tamika. She said it's a paid internship. That's what's up. Okay, awesome. So she's still in school, which is very, very good. All right. JT, hi, says give him a job. That's right. Okay. Also in this scene, guys, before we move on, I do want to mention that I really like how Darnell gave Jada credit for Emmett, right? For how Emmett has turned out. Darnell has taken no part in that. He did not credit himself. He said, I wasn't there for the boy growing up to guide him and everything. And his mama did a daggone good job with him, right? Because Shad was over here complimenting him, saying that, Emmett is really doing good. And so I just really like the fact that Darnell did not take any responsibility for Emmett's success. Yes, take responsibility for Emmett's failures, okay? But he did not take any responsibility for Emmett's success, right? What's up, Detroit? Okay, and so next, guys, we have Tracy, and this is a scene that I really like. I like the ladies coming together and talking and everything. It's so cute. It makes me want to like get with my girls and have a ladies night, but I just like I need to make time, But anyway, she tells the ladies that she wants to focus on loving herself for a while and stay away from the dating scene after what Douda, what happened with Douda and stuff. And I'm just like, okay, girl, like I was with it, understood. You had some of the friends saying, girl, no, you gotta, give it time, get back out there, find love. You don't want to be alone, you don't want to die alone, this and that and the third. And you have Jada over there, encouraging love and marriage and all of that stuff. And she's saying, guys, I feel loved right here. I love you guys. Why can't I just have this circle? All of that. Talking all that trash, guys. Talking all that freaking trash. And we gonna talk later on. But was she not talking trash? Girl, if you can't be serious about it, don't even talk about it. Don't even bring it up, because she was fighting them to the bone. Until a bone popped up, right? Anyway, we're gonna move right the heck along. So we have a party. It's kind of like a housewarming, I want to say, but he didn't call it a housewarming. This is at Kevin's apartment. Like I said, I love his little place, guys. So he has a party at his spot, and Jake, he can't believe that Kevin got a crib before him. But I'm over here like, I don't see why, baby. Like, you was walking around here without a job for a very, very long time. Even last year when your girl was pregnant and everything, that's why your brother was pissed off. Like, yo, you don't have a freaking job. You're not ready for a kid. Like, so how in the world are you surprised that Kevin got a place before you? Anyway, guys, right? So I love seeing all the kids get along. And I love how Bakari is included. He's vibing with every last one of them. He's in it, guys. That's the bottom line. He is a part of these kids now. He jokes with them. He ain't taking nothing too seriously. They clowning. It's just all love. All right. I love it. We even have a little scene where, I'm sorry, a little moment where they bringing up the past. You know what I'm saying? Because he's over here, Papa, trying to DM the girl after he done liked about 18 of her pics. And Bakari's like, bro, just leave it alone. Like, do not DM her after you did all of that. So, they're like, just leave him alone. Let him do what he's going to do. And, just be cool about it if you DM her and everything. And so you got Maisha over there saying, oh, so you like older chicks now and stuff. First of all, it was hilarious when Bakari was like, yo, this old chick, like, she's not old, she's only 2 years older than y'all. Like, it's so funny with this generation, how everything is old. You know what I mean? It's just like you can't be 30 with these young whippersnappers because they will call you an old head. And it's just like, that's just hilarious to me. All right. So anyway, guys, so they was throwing shots or whatever because he was like, well, you don't want me anymore. And she's like, I didn't say that, Stanley. And it was on some like, why you bringing up old stuff, right? And so then this chick, what is her name? Let's go back. Gemma. Okay, because you know how it is, guys. Gemma's over there talking about, I'm so glad I'm off the market, blah, blah, blah. And of course, after they already said don't bring up old stuff, Kevin had to say, well, you wasn't on the market when you got with Jake. I was like, yes, come on now. Sometimes you cannot let stuff slide. I'm sorry. I don't care if they're getting along. I don't care if everything is all good now. That comment, he couldn't let that slide. That's just, no, it just wasn't going to happen. Okay. Tamika says the friends group is tight. It's the adults on the show that's whack. Absolutely. The kids are so much better on the show. Simone dumped Kev because she couldn't date a Virgo for 3 months. Was insane. I hope Kev got his money back from Simone. Yeah, they're probably not gonna finish that story, but we'll see. I think that story is done. All right. So after this, guys, everything is done and over with. And we got Maisha and Kevin. And listen, last night when Moochie asked the question, do I think they're going to get together or something? I said, no, he's not going to do that to his boy who he got his arm around right now. Okay. Now, he asked if him, listen, in this scene right here, when I say he, I'm talking about Kevin. He asked if Maisha and I was gonna say Stanley, Maisha and Papa were officially over. And she's like, yeah, we're better as friends. And I'm like, what is we doing? What are we doing here? Okay. Like, I was not expecting this. I'm over here saying my boy Kevin is not about to do this to his boy Papa. Okay. And so she's asking about Simone, and he's like, oh, we broke up and blah, blah, blah. Simone was weird anyway, but whatever. And so, guys, they start kissing. They kissed, right? It was just like a little peck or whatever. It's not like they were sitting there tonguing or nothing. And, she's all like laughing and stuff. And I'm just like, guys, this would have been cute if her and Papa never was a thing, right? Because remember how she was kind of like the bully that was trying to force herself on Kevin in like season 1, and it was just hilarious. And he really liked her cousin. It would have been cute, right? How it just turned around because she got the glow up and everything. She a BBW and all of that. But I'm just saying, what are we gonna do here? Is the question is Papa gonna be affected by this? Right? Even though he's after his little older shorty, is Papa going to be affected? And I hope not, guys, because I don't like that. I don't like that. Yes, hi, pretty girl. Yes, please ensure that you guys like the video. Yes, LSW, I'm not happy with Kevin right now. I'm not. A Blue Jay in Vegas says, guess I'm prehistoric. Yeah, me too, honey. Ancient. All right, now. All right, guys. So, we're going to move along. So Emmett buys Kiesha a car. And as you can see in the back, it's right in front of Rob. And I'm not sure how he felt about it, but I don't think he likes it. And I feel like smashing her in the back seat in a later scene shows how he really feels about it. I mean, guys, talk to me. Him smashing Tiff in the back of that car that her ex-husband bought her. Is that like some type of disrespectful thing? Like, is that saying screw you, right? Like, is that an F you? Let me know, guys. Talk to me, because I feel like that was his way of, like, you know, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I felt some type of way about it. And I don't care. I don't really care that he bought Tiffany a car and all of that. Hey, Rob should have bought it, but he didn't. And that's the bottom line. Hey. So LSW said that is disrespectful. Yes, I feel like it is. And whatever. DeMarcus says that Emmett and Tiff are still married. Are they? I thought they got a divorce, but okay, maybe so. But yeah, LSW, I think it's disrespectful, and I'm waiting for the men to tell me if it is, because I need to know the mind of a man right now. DeMarcus, I don't hear you. Big Wolf, I don't hear you. Talk to me. All right, because we're about to move on. All right. Once again, I asked the questions to the fellas. Is that some type of disrespect? Even though Emmett is not there to witness it, is it a mind thing, right? Is that something that is a disrespect towards Emmett to say, like, I don't care if you bought her a car, I'm smashing your baby mom's in the car that you bought her. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like the diss that, Jay-Z, when he talked about how he splashed on the baby's car seat and all that stuff. Like, is it on that type of disrespect, fellas? I don't know. I don't hear you. All right. Now, we're moving on, guys. Okay, so Deja asks Shad if he's doing okay because he seems like he's a little down, right? And Shad explains that he feels some type of way because all of his friends are winning, right? He admits that it's very inspiring, but he still ain't doing anything, right? And but then he promises her that everything is fine with him, everything's okay with me. And clearly it's not, guys, because he was just looking at pics of Tiara. And I know that may not have nothing to do with him not having a job and stuff, but why are you looking at pics of Tiara? That really pissed me off. Okay, so before she came through the door, that's exactly what the heck he was doing. And he was smoking after she asked him, please do not freaking smoke in the house. All right, guys. Now, I don't really know what's going to happen here, but I definitely sense trouble for them. She still doesn't know, I don't think, right? She doesn't know about him sleeping with Tiara. But stuff is definitely going to hit the fan, right? It's definitely brewing for these guys. There was something else that I was gonna say, but so she wanted to, like, take him out, like, it's on me, this and that. But he was like, no, I cooked for you, which I love. I love the fact that, look, he's not working, but at least when she comes home from work, he makes sure that she has a home cooked meal. And so I like that. But when she says, hey, let's go out, my treat, it doesn't make him feel good as a man that every single time she's paying for everything. So the least that she can allow him to do is to continue to, cook for him and stuff like that. Just kind of making him feel like he's contributing in some kind of way. So I'm very afraid for their relationship. First of all, they already have that secret going on, but maybe it won't turn out that bad for them because I guess they were sort of broken up or whatever, or they had a fight or something. I don't remember if they were broken up or they had a fight, but it definitely happened after they had a fight. So I don't think they were broke up. I don't think they were broken up, guys. So yeah, this might be bad when she finds out, or if she finds out that him and Tiara smashed. Okay. So let's see, let's go back. So DeMarcus says it's Tiffany's car, so no, it's not disrespectful. All right, guys. Rashad is the house husband. All right. Tamika says Emmett purchasing the car for his special needs son to get around is absolutely just fine. Tiffany accepting it in a live in a relationship was wrong. Okay. I don't know. This is a very good debate. It's very good. It makes me want to open up another episode of Great Debates with Miss K, because there's a lot of different things that people are saying, you know. I don't know, guys. I don't think I would mind a car from, an ex. I don't know how that really feels, but I guess I'm talking out of inexperience, because I would kind of feel like, hey, look, if you bought the car for me to get around with your child, then hey, whatever. In a sense, it could be, you could look at it as child support. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. All right, guys, let's see. Where are we? I just want to make sure. Oh, so in this scene, guys, also what I wanted to talk about earlier is that I really hope that everything's gonna be okay with Shad. I'm a little concerned for him as far as uh S thoughts, right? I don't want him to want to take himself out because he's seeing all of his friends thriving, and he feels like there's no place for him, and he can't really get it together with his relationship and all that stuff. So that's one thing that I'm a little concerned about, but that's pretty much that, guys. All right. Yeah, DeMarcus says that Rashad and Deja got into a fight on Valentine's Day when Rashad smashed Tiara. Yeah. All right. So here we go. So now, guys, Fatima tells Trig that she doesn't want to go to any public events with him because she's tired of the transphobic comments in her DMs. But to me, guys, she's the same person who wanted him to stop living a lie and be honest about who he was with, right? Who he was and all of that stuff. But now she don't want to be seen. But okay, if that's what it is and that's your thing, then whatever. You know what I'm saying? I guess it just made her feel better that he came out about their relationship and that he wasn't really in a relationship with Tiara. But as his campaign manager said, because you wasn't real about your personal life, we had to work these past few months to gain people's trust back because they don't freaking believe in you. Okay? Candy Love said, I hope Shad is okay mentally. Yes, me too. All right. So, guys, Marcus's introduction of Tiara to Gemma did not go over well. All right, like Gemma was like, like we're not doing this. I don't know, like who you are and all of this, but ain't nobody coming in taking my place. That's basically what it was, because it was a whole bunch of like, you taking her side, this and that, because I don't know what Tiara thought was gonna happen, but she must have thought that Gemma was gonna be all polite. Gemma was not polite at all, honey. And Tiara was kind of taken aback, but then after that, she was like, well, you're gonna have to move out at some point, And Gemma said, no, I don't. And the father said, yes, you do. I don't think this was the time for Marcus to side with Tiara. I think this was the time to stamp it and let it be known, like, no, it's too soon right now for you to be trying to come up in here and insert yourself like that. Like, me and my daughter, no, we like this. So I think that it wasn't a good idea for him to be like, yeah, well, babe, you do you have to move out, hon. I mean, not saying right now, but yeah, soon. Won't you want your own life and all this? So I just didn't think that this was it wasn't good. I didn't like how he responded to the situation. So let me see what you guys are saying. So Candy Love says that Tiara is thirsty and disrespectful. Tiara was disrespectful in that conversation. I can't believe he sat there like that. Yeah, just a freaking idiot. Marcus should have checked her when they were at the office and she said something slick out her mouth. Yeah, about the whole thing, like, oh, she know what sex is. Didn't she have a whole pregnancy scare? It's like, girl, that's not your business, first of all. And you get your facts right, because it wasn't a pregnancy scare. She actually had a miscarriage, which is worse than a pregnancy scare. She was looking forward to having that baby. So it's kind of like a sensitive subject. So you need to fall back and keep my daughter's business out your mouth. So I'm not really feeling this whole thing, guys. It's really getting on my nerves already. Tamika says, I always side-eye Fatima. She forced old boy out the closet just to hide. Hashtag bull. Right. Let's bring it back and highlight that. Okay. I always side-eye Fatima. She forced the old boy out the closet just to hide. Right. That makes no sense to me. But like I said, okay, that's what you want. No problem. Okay. Let's see. He better be careful because Douda could have set him up with her. Oh wow. Oh Lord. I'm gonna stop reading these comments, guys. We gotta move on. All right, guys. So Kiesha is pissed off that Emmett bought Tiffany a car. Okay, without talking to her first. All right, because it's a big purchase. That's what she said. It's a big purchase, and we're supposed to be in this together. But Emmett doesn't see it that way. Okay, he says if he wants to get something nice for his mother, for the mother of his child, then that's what he's gonna do. I don't need to talk to you. And so Kiesha is pissed, and so is Emmett. And so he leaves and he goes to see Douda. She's like, I guess we just gonna get some effing sleep. And he was like, nah, I'm out of here. We just gonna leave, which I don't like that kind of stuff either. But thank God he didn't leave to go like be with somebody. He went to really go see Douda, which was like, gosh, you really in here with Douda. Oh my gosh. All right. So like I said, he's going to Douda, and Douda is over here. He must have just finished teaching this kid Zay how to smoke a cigar, how to light it, smoke it, all of this, right? Because Zay, we saw him in a previous episode with Nuck stealing a car. Now I think they stole like a 1970 something Mustang or something like that, and Douda was very impressed and he thought it was Nuck. But I love the fact that Nuck did not take the credit for it and told Douda that it was Zay. All right. I think that Douda has taken a liking to Zay and his attitude. He sees that he's kind of smart, especially because Douda was so tempted to take the car on his own. And he was like, nah, this is a collector's item, I'm sure. So that means that they probably got people, already looking for this thing in the streets. So I don't think that you should even try to chance it if I were you. So he liked, Douda liked the fact that this kid is smart too, right? And so Nuck did kind of have a look like, kind of shook his head or whatever. I don't know if he doesn't really like, somebody else probably coming in. I don't know, but I did peep that look. Okay, so anyway, guys, so now, like I said, we got Emmett here at the table, and Douda is excited to see him, and he's teaching him. It looks like Douda likes to teach the youngins. Okay, that's what it looks like to me, guys. He's in his glory with this. All right, so he's telling him what's going on. When I say he, I'm talking about Emmett. He tells Douda what went on with Kiesha and how she's mad and she wants a house and this and that and the third. And Douda says, well, go ahead and splurge on her too. You did it for your baby mother. Do it for her now. You got to take care of all your women, all four of your ladies. And he was like, I only got one woman. And Douda said, man, you got 3 baby mothers and girlfriend or whatever. Those are all your women and you need to take care of them, right? That's your responsibility. So during this conversation, guys, Douda is he's also trying to teach Emmett how to light a cigar and smoking and stuff like that, but he's distracted by this loud chewing of a guy named Dev. Okay, Douda tells Dev to please be quiet because he's trying to teach Emmett how to light a cigarette, and Dev says, I ain't chewing that loud, bro. And so, guys, Douda did not do his nervous laugh. I mean, not nervous. He didn't do his psycho laugh like he didn't do that, guys. He just straight looked at Dev and focused his attention back on Emmett and says, so Emmett, is everything okay with you? I mean, like, guys, can you imagine how this man could go from one extreme to the next? Like, this wasn't really an extreme. Let me take that back. It wasn't an extreme. It was the fact that we know that something is brewing inside of him. Okay, there's deletion on the brain, and he coolly distracts himself from that moment, right? I'm gonna get back to you, Dev. And then he goes back to Emmett and he's like, so is everything okay with you? Like he's just this really nice guy. Guys, if you really look up a psychopath, you will see that he has a lot of the traits. I think I talked about this last year as well. I talked about the traits of a psychopath. He has it, all the charming, the charm and things like that. What's that word? He has no remorse, all of that, guys. He has it. He's a freaking psychopath. All right. And so Dev is chewing loudly, guys, which I did not notice until they put the camera on him and Douda said something about it. So that's that. It wasn't that loud, okay? Until Douda let us recognize that it was that loud. All right. So now, guys, here's what we were talking about earlier about how the naivete of Emmett, like how you working with Douda when you know that this young man, I'm sorry, not this young man, this man who's probably a minimum of 50 years old, as y'all talking about in the chat. He's psycho, he's crazy, he has a reputation. Why are you working with him, right? And so I'm trying to figure out where Dev comes from, because baby, why in the world are you not afraid to talk back to this man? I mean, he didn't really talk back. He just said, I ain't chewing that loud, bruh. But as you can see, I think Douda is a type where you just have to take orders. You cannot be sitting here trying to talk back. All right, guys. I know I'm on this. I'm dragging it a little bit, but anyway. So, after he finishes schooling, Emmett, I kind of went ahead a little bit. This is when he tells him about the women in his life and, the responsibilities that he has. And then after that, we still hear Zay just a chewing away. I'm sorry, not Zay, Dev, just a chewing away, guys. And Douda calmly gets up, walks over to the table, picks up, I think it was Nuck's gun, and bam, bam, bam. Okay, bow, bow, bow. Right in the chest. It looks like Douda likes to when he does shoot, he aims for the chest. And so I was like, oh my freaking gosh, right? And then after this, he's just like, oh, hand me my jacket. Can you hand me my jacket? Like, everything's done like he didn't do anything. Everybody else was, they didn't really seem fazed by it, but they were caught off guard though. Like, I feel bad for Nuck, like poor Nuck, because he like, damn, like I was just trying to sit here and play cards or whatever we was playing and just, have a nice calm night and drink. Now I gotta go dump a freaking body. You see him rolling up his sleeves and everything, like, oh my gosh. He don't got the oh my gosh look on him, because I think he knows better. But I'm pretty sure that's what he's thinking, guys. He's just a soldier that got to do what he got to do, or else he know he gonna get got. And I think that that's the thing, right? Because of the fact that Douda is such a scary person, it's gonna take one of his soldiers to take him out, somebody that's close to him. DeMarcus says that Douda wants to intimidate Emmett when he took out Dev. Yeah, maybe so. I don't see the need. Emmett is not, he's already intimidated. Emmett is not of the streets or anything like that. So I really don't see the need to do all of that. But, hey, he steps over the body, walks out, puts his coat on and steps over the body like it ain't nothing. And then after that, he goes and sees, Tracy. And this is why I was saying Tracy is full of crap, because when Douda comes freaking knocking, she's like, oh, I'm just taking time for myself. But all he got to do is say, oh, I miss you. You don't miss me, blah, blah, blah. And that's it. All right. And then and then he don't even got the decency to stay in the bed so she could wake up to him the next day. It was like, I'm in here smashing and that's that. I'm smashing and dashing because I done went and deleted somebody. So now I gotta blow off some steam in another way. Now I need me a woman after some deletion. I need me a woman. Okay. So like I said, she was talking all of that crap and it just went out the window, guys. All right. And so then when she does wake up, she wakes up to this this old post of Eartha Kitt talking about, relationships and compromise, like relationships have to be earned, and I love that she woke up to that, because Douda didn't have to earn a daggone thing when he showed up to her house wanting some cooch. Okay, sorry guys. I should have said cookie. I'm sorry. When he wanted that cookie, that's it. She just let it happen. There was no work that had to be done, no earning, no nothing. Exactly, Big Wolf. Smash and dash. That's all that went down. And she played herself. She really did. She played herself. She talking all this trash to the ladies, and she couldn't stand up for herself. She couldn't say what she needed to say and mean it, right? You know, nobody asked you to say that. Nobody asked you to take that stance. You took that stance on your own, and then when when the bone came out, you could not resist it, honey. And that's just the bottom freaking line. All right. Purity says this season is going to be good. Reminds me of season 1. Yes, the late Eartha Kitt. All right, guys. So here's what I wanted to talk about real quick. Trig, he wins city council. It's not by a landslide, by the skin of his teeth. And he tells Quincy or Quentin, whatever his, I probably got that. I'll get it right by next week if they say his name again. He tells his campaign manager that he wants to hire him, to work for him now. Like, now that I'm city council, I want to hire you for a full-time job and stuff like that. And he takes it. And there was just a moment between them guys that made me feel some type of sexual way. I was like, and I think somebody said something about the campaign manager probably being in love with Trig, but I was getting a vibe from Trig. Like, let me find out that it's really that Trig is gay, but he's been using the trans women as a cover up. You know what I'm saying? And he's really gay, because I just didn't like the transaction, the way he was kind of like, I don't want to say I didn't like it. I just what is her name? Fatima? She was watching too, waiting to give him a drink and stuff like that. And I'm just like, bro, you got your lady back there, and you over here really kind of a little too friendly with your campaign manager, whatever y'all calling him, a chief of staff, whatever he is, campaign manager. And it's looking a little too friendly for me. That's all I gotta say, guys. I said it, and that's that. We're gonna move on. Maybe what it is that Trig needs to come out as a gay man, and that's what's about to really happen. We'll see. I don't know. But Big Wolf says that he set up the viral. Maybe he did. He had somebody, he wasn't recording, but somebody was. So he probably just said, hey, record the situation. But they definitely recorded him with his shirt off. But anyway, guys, I just want to thank you guys so much for being here. Let me see one more. When Trig was in jail, those men looked like men he was messing with. I think Fatima and the campaign manager is setting him up. Oh, wow. You know what? A lot of people don't trust Fatima. And yeah, I could understand why. There is something about her, but I don't know. I know we were talking about this last year too, that we don't know if we can really trust her. But hey, Guy King. So he did set that girl to do that. He said he needed. Yeah, he definitely said he needed it. So it is what it is. And Trig didn't care. He said, what the heck is this? And he said, hey, I'll take it. The numbers is high, whatever. So we're going to see how things go, guys. Thank you, DeMarcus. Thank you guys so much for being here. LSW, your queen, Jeremiah, Big Wolf Status, all of you guys for being in the chat. You guys are wonderful. Please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't already, hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. I'll see you guys next week for episode number 2. And we're going to just, we're going to see where this season takes us. Keaton, okay? Take care and be blessed. Bye-bye. Good night, Purity.